Hello, my name is Joan Kuenz, and I'm going to introduce myself to you and tell you a little bit about a wonderful workshop I had the opportunity to facilitate recently. First, let's start out by telling you a little bit about who I am. I was very, very fortunate in being raised in a house where art was not only supported but respected. Not only did we go to the theater and to concerts and to art museums, but my mom started me at the ballet bar when I was just 4 years of age. I realized that what I had a passion for was education, and that led me on to get teaching credentials and a graduate degree in education. When the opportunity presented itself to collaborate with a group of visual artists, I was absolutely thrilled. So what we did, myself and Edwin Rutch, was to plan a workshop there were initially in the exhibit 113 African American artists. And we put out the word that we were going to have interview workshops available, and if anyone was interested, to let us know. And we immediately had over 40 artists sign up for the workshops, probably having no idea what they were signing up for. And then we went about planning how to actually execute this workshop. Our focus, of course, would be to be accruing stories and doing interviews about the artists and their experience with inspiration. So what we did in the workshop was we decided to break it down into small, intimate groups. So we had 10 artists maximum attend 2 Sunday afternoon sessions of approximately 3 hours. We initially got acquainted with each other. We had the artists put together something for the video of their own personal signature, or their name cards, that they were able to represent themselves in their signature. Then we did spontaneous writing, and the first question that we looked at was their first memory of being inspired. They were then to do a pictorial brainstorm, and that would be to use their art skills to illustrate what they had thought about in their writing. After they completed that, we talked about what does inspiration look like to them. And they developed a metaphor for their own personal metaphor for inspiration. We did a little exercise where they were actually able to show what inspiration felt like in their body by doing a little what we called miniature acting experience, which was quite different for the group. I got the impression that that was something that was quite an icebreaker for everyone. Then we talked a little bit about doing some homework for the next session. And since we had these wonderful stories about their first inspiration, we wanted to be able to illustrate those. So they were told to go home, pull out the shoe boxes, the photo albums, and bring in some kind of documentation of their stories for the next session. Then the next week, we started with that. Edwin sat down, put out the computer and the scanner, and each artist had a chance to go up there and scan in the information. In the meantime, I was having the artists deal with their second question, and this question dealt with their inspiration and a particular art piece that they had produced sometime. They did a spontaneous writing again, they did another pictorial brainstorm, and were at this point ready for the climax of the workshop, which was the interview. And this was a part of the workshop that I found people loved hearing each other's stories. So everyone quietly listened and took turns as each individual got a chance to be interviewed about the questions that we had talked about and the stories that we had talked about, we had drawn, we had acted out. That was the end of our workshop, except for the fact that I did want everyone to give me an evaluation, a written evaluation, so that we could comb over those at the end of each workshop and see what did they like, what didn't they like, what could we do better. And then Edwin, of course, then would take that home, edit the information, the photos, the video, and then from there he was able to put that up onto YouTube. What I found happened during this workshop was, as usual, when I facilitate something, I found it a tremendous learning experience. I enjoyed it, every aspect of it, and particularly learned and grew by looking at the universal stories of the artists, their struggles, their hopes, their dreams, being able to balance their life with what they're passionate about, and also seeing the wonderful power of art in our world.